Hello, my name is Tiffany Velati, and today I will be recording a video about reactive abuse, otherwise known as Am I the Narcissist? So let's say you dated somebody and you started to study narcissism on the internet, or let's say they told you you were a narcissist, and you were like, wait, what? Like, I thought I was treating you well, like, and you actually thought they were mistreating you. Here's a thing with narcissists. They will always, not always, I don't know because I'm not always there, but it has been known that a narcissist during their abuse will actually call the victim a narcissist once the victim finds out and recognizes their abuse. So I'm just going to go ahead and read off what is reactive abuse, because a lot of times a lot of people get in abusive situations, right? And then they can't handle it anymore and they snap. And the Gone Girl is the perfect movie, right? She gets beat up. She recognizes this man is going to murder me. What can I do to prevent this? Nobody will listen to her. What does she do? She goes reactive. She reacts. She sets up her own murder. She to the point where now the cops think he murdered her. And then he's getting, I believe she ends up showing him signs that she's still alive. And he's like, well, I didn't murder her. And he's like, but here's the thing. The plan was obviously for the abuse to continue. And she could end up murdered. And I believe that was the entire point to the movie. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read just two definitions that I typed in, and I found out some really great definitions of what reactive abuse is. I can easily say I was abused so much by my father. He the day before his fourth wedding tried to fist fight me. He dragged me down the stairs by my ankles, so my head hit each individual step, and then he slammed a chair with metal framing onto my pinky, and then he berated me and demanded that I fist fight him. So I have seen myself have to defend myself. I have dated men where I came to the end. I was so abused, I came to the end, and I started to react in a way that was not normal for me to react. This is called reactive abuse, and it usually, it comes from narcissistic abuse. So let me go ahead and read some definitions so you totally understand. What is reactive abuse? Reactive abuse is when you, as someone who is being abused, lash out toward your abuser in response to the abuse to which you're being subjected to. So imagine a dog being kicked over and over and over and over, just kicked and beaten, and now the dog's just growling at everything that goes by, because the dog thinks everything is a harmful to them. Everything is harmful. So it's reactive. Like, are you going to harm me? Like a beaten... Oh, I can't. Anyways. However, the truth is that it is a manipulation tactic. Hear me. Hear me out, because it is a manipulation tactic from the abuser, the narcissist, that allows the user to shift the blame off of themselves, the narcissist, to shift the blame onto the victim. Onto you. If you are the victim, or your friend is the victim, the narcissist is trying to poke. And then, like I went through, get you on camera even. Get you on camera when you finally freak out. That's what happened to me with a narcissistic abuser that I dated. That bought me a Harley Quinn outfit and then took me on a Hollywood Boulevard, and then set up a whole situation of events to make me look like I was crazy, and then brought out his phone and recorded me. So, I'm going to read the rest of this. I know it's a lot. So the whole tactic is, it's a manipulation tactic to shift the blame onto the victim. To shift the blame from themselves onto the victim. You'll be told that you are overreacting, or being overly dramatic, or that it just did not even happen, which is what happened to me. His response was, what? No, I high-fived the other Harley Quinn, which he bought me the outfit, and then we go up on Hollywood Boulevard. Just something like actors do in Hollywood occasionally, just to do something to flex their acting muscles and get into the groove. And the rumor was going on that there was another Harley Quinn, and that now there was a war between the two of us, which was made up. So he sees her coming. He goes out of his way to high five her, and then he turns around and glares at me, and I'm like, what? I had known him for a while, and I was like, well, that's not the person I know. So, what? And then he goes, because the whole point of going on a Hollywood Boulevard dressed up as a character is to make the kids happy, make the children happy. And then he turns and goes, hey kids, do you want a picture with Harley Quinn? And I was like almost in tears, because here I could tell that he was trying to instigate a war between her and I, but on the DL, like he made it seem like, oh, we're just high-fiving, and they turned around and glared, and he goes, hey kids, do you want to get a picture with Harley Quinn? And they all go, yay! And I was like, I was almost in tears. I was just holding back everything. I couldn't believe he was humiliating me in front of everybody. And then he goes, oh, never mind, sorry, forget it. She's in a bad mood. And I was like, who are you? Literally, who are you? Who is this person that I thought cared about me? It was like he set it up in his head. And I walked away, and he pulls out his phone, and he records me storming away, right? So now it looks like I'm like tick, tick, boom, boom. Like I'm the crazy one. And I was like, what are you doing? And I'll just give that part of the story. He eventually like called an Uber, snuck into the Uber, and then he saw that I saw him, and I was like, I see you, bro. He gets the Uber to stop, and he's like, oh, come on in. And I'm like, hold up. You just humiliated me. And then he invites me in, and I'm like, oh, maybe he didn't. Hoping, right? But I was so angry. He recorded my reactive abuse. Like, how angry would you be if somebody took you somewhere and then they humiliated you publicly? Like, you're the idiot. And then I get in the Uber and he humiliates me the entire block and a half back to his place. And says how ungrateful I am because he bought me the outfit and look at it, what I have done to him. So, a lot of people ask, codependents especially, a lot of women, sometimes men, a lot of people who have been abused ask, am I the narcissist? They'll look up like information, searching desperately, searching the internet, searching for answers, and they'll find something on narcissistic abuse. And then they'll think, oh my God, well, I've done that. I reacted the one time, I reacted 3 of the times, and I flipped out. Oh my God. Am I a narcissist? No. First off, if you are asking if you are a narcissist, the answer most definitely is no. Because a narcissist will never even get to that point where they even think that they are doing something wrong or that they're a narcissist. From all of the studies that I have done, it doesn't happen like that. It's only somebody who has empathy. It's only somebody who has empathy and does not want to hurt somebody that says, oh my God, am I the narcissist? Legitimately. So the next thing. So basically, I'm going to reread it, honestly. Reactive abuse is when you or someone who you know who's being abused lash out toward your abuser in response to the abuse in which you're being subjected to. So it's like me confronting him and being like, why would you do that to me? And now I look, or whoever's doing it looks like the abuser. But you've been so abused, the person has been so abused that they are freaking out on the abuser. And it's all part of the plan. However, the truth is that it is a manipulation tactic that allows the user to shift the blame onto you or the victim. So they're literally doing this to make the victim or you look crazy. You look crazy. I don't look crazy. But in reality, they set the entire thing up. So the abused, the victim, looks nuts. And they look like, hey, I don't know why she flipped out. She just, women, like that. Even, you may not be a woman, you may be a man. I'm so trumping this, like, women, right? Like, that's some crazy, stupid crap that one of my ex-boyfriends who was a comedian would do. Like women, right? It's not true. It's a tactic. So to shift blame onto the victim, they shift blame from themselves onto the victim. You'll be told, or the victim will be told, that they or you are overreacting or being overly dramatic, and you'll be accused of being the abuser yourself. Wow. I've experienced this so many times with my family and with this one boyfriend, or a couple boyfriends. But you know, if you grew up with abusive parents, they probably shifted the abuse onto you, which is exactly what my family did. My stepmother convinced my father to like abandon me and do this to me. Another example. Abusers love the reactive abuse as it is proof. Remember when I said the camera, he was recording me? So it is proof in their minds that the person who that the person who reacted is unstable. He would always tell me, girl, you're crazy. You're crazy. You should get your head checked. Like he would say my memory wasn't right. That the one who's reacted is mentally ill. Remember this, because this is so key. That is key. They will try to make the victim look like they are the ones losing their crap and that they are mentally ill. They set the entire thing up. They will use it against you for years to come. Narcissistic people rewrite their own history. My stepmother did this to me. My stepmother convinced my father. She ripped him away from me. He was the only parent I had. My grandfather was he was abandoned, and he did this to me. And then it's not uncharacteristic for family to narcissistically abuse a child, and then that child grows up to pick narcissistic mates. So if you're thinking, well, what are the chances? Like, you're the common denominator. No. Actually, the chances are huge, because if you grew up like this, that's... First off, narcissists will sniff out anyone who's been abused. And then because it's easy prey. And how can you sniff out a codependent? How can you sniff out somebody who's been abused? Well, you can tell by their body language. You can tell the second you start talking to them about their life growing up. They know immediately. They know what to look for. And they will use it against you for years to come. Narcissistic people rewrite their own history. My stepmother did that to me, and my stepfather just beat my brothers. And my mom. I just knew they were crazy. But my stepmother and my father was very difficult, because I thought, was like my savior parent. But he kept picking these women that he had, like one amazing girlfriend that was so kind and so sweet. But he dated 3 other women that, wow. And then it was almost like I was just a reminder of another woman. And then he remarried. She lied on me. He punched me in my face and broke my nose. I was covered in blood. I had to run away. The government, the state, literally took custody of me because of what he did. And to this day, she took complete control. She lied. She manipulated. It was the hardest thing I've ever been through. And they will do this. She rewrote history. She made me look like the bad guy when I was like the codependent, and I'm like trying to please her. I'm writing her like thank you notes. I'm buying her bottles of wine, putting it on her pillow. I'm doing everything. When I tried to like mend the relationship, I thought, this is my chance. This is my chance. And no. So be careful, because they may pretend like they're switching up and they're being kind and loving, and then it might just bite you in the butt. They change the stories. They tell themselves. They are never accountable. They say so many lies that they often believe them. They often believe their own lies and reality, and they will use reactive abuse against you for years to come. So when my father came upstairs after I'd worked all day long and night as a 14 or 15-year-old, my stepmother made up an entire story, and they came barging in my room, and I'm like, wait, what? I'm just waiting to eat dinner. It's 10:30 and nobody saved me dinner. And she's like, yeah, she's like behind him screaming and pointing. Like I could feel her energy, like encouraging him to just like punch me. And he did. And once he did, I remember him going, oh my God, what did I do? And he said her name, and I'm going to be respectful and not say, he said her name, he said, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do? And she goes, oh my God, just relax. It's just a nosebleed. And I remember being like, oh my God. Oh my God. That night, my life changed. She turned him into like a monster. He not ever once my entire life had to discipline me. I was just a good kid. Him and I were like, he didn't have to hit me. He didn't have to yell at me. Ever. And she took over, man. She got me. That, honestly, I look back and I think, you know, my whole life, when I met her, I thought, oh my God, finally, I get a mother. Finally, I get a mother. And I was so excited. Like, I just wanted her to love me. And then her true colors came out. And then I looked like the outrageous, uncontrollable daughter that's just like crazy and deserves to be punched. And I'm like, I'm just trying to please you guys. Like, and she won. She took over my dad. And she did this on so many occasions. At one point, when I left the guy that tried to kill me, and I called my dad because I was so desperate. They said, I paid rent. I paid literally $300 rent to sleep on their couch. And I went to college and I got all A's. And then I went and worked at LA Fitness till late at night. And I thought maybe this time, this is my chance to like make her love me. And then the same stepsister lied on me again and said that I slammed the door in her face when I had gone into the bathroom because I'm sleeping on the couch to change my shirt. And I was like, why would I slam? Like, I'm like trying to encourage you with your bullies at school. Why would I would not ever do anything like that. And I overheard her saying it, and I was like, I ended up running. And I ran, and I got in the car, and I drove to a woman's house that I knew was like a woman who was very spiritual. She let me sleep for the couple hours I had until I had to open the gym at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. I can't even remember, but I thought finally maybe. And she just always got what she wanted with my dad. And I lost my last parent at that point. And if you would ask her, I mean, she's a nurse. She's total covert narcissist. They say a lot of narcissists have high-ranking jobs that make them look very innocent. My stepfather works for the government. And I swear to God, he's probably got like women locked up in an underground tunnel somewhere. It's just a gut feeling I have from seeing what I've seen. And with her, I'm like, how? How could you do this to me? To my dad, though. Like, how? But he was so desperate and love addicted that he literally came down and said, if you don't leave, this family's gonna break up. And I was like, but I didn't even do anything. She said I slammed the door in her face. Why would I slam the door in a young girl's face? Like, that doesn't even make sense. I had to change my shirt. I didn't want to just like whip off my shirt like out where everyone can see me. And they tried to they came in LA Fitness and screamed at me after they convinced me to give my car away to the boyfriend that tried to kill me. And I was like, no, this is not a good idea. I knew I couldn't. Honestly, I had a feeling I could not trust my father or her. And they're like, if you know, just pay rent. We'll let you use our extra car. And then that happened. And she came first. Of course, leading my dad after. She came first and screaming at me in the middle of LA Fitness. And I'm at the front desk. And a district manager is over in membership along with my friend Sandra. And I know she won't mind me using her name. She was yelling and she's like, give me the keys now or I'm calling the cops. And I was like, okay. And I'm just trying to manage staying in college. For the first time in my life, I'm getting all A's. I'm working, I'm doing great. And she's screaming at me. And I'm like, fine. And I'm like undoing the keys. And I'm like, here, you have my dad. What else do you want from me? Well, the district manager and my friend overheard and didn't even say a word to me, ran out, opened the glass door so hard and slammed it open so hard that it hit the glass, the other part of the glass, like wide open. And I was like, oh no, 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 oh no, oh no, oh God, oh no. And then out goes my friend after him, and I'm like, oh no. And then he came back and stormed back and didn't even look at me. Stormed back in, stormed off, red face, and I'm like, oh, hey, what? And I said his name, and I'm like, wait, what? Are you okay? And my friend, the girl who worked with me at the front desk, was like, told me everything. She said, he ran out and screamed at your stepmother and father and said, don't you ever dare come in here and talk to one of my employees like that. And then she told me what she said, that she was so angry. She said, because my stepmom and my dad love to go to church, and my dad loves to play worship music, lead guitar every Sunday, and he's a godfather to one of the boys in the church, and it's just so interesting that he's there to play lead guitar, to lead worship in a church, to be a godfather to a young boy, but he can't even tell his wife, hey, that's my daughter. Even if you don't like it, you have to respect her and love her if you're going to love me. No. And so my friend Sandra said, my stepmother said, you don't even know. All she does all day is lay on the couch and sleep. And the district manager said, that's a BS, because I know she goes to school all day, she gets all A's, and then she comes here and works for barely minimum wage. You're a liar. And then my friend, the girl, said, you're going to hell. And they were both, he was so angry when he came back in. I couldn't even talk to him. He wouldn't even listen or answer the person he just defended. That is how angry he was. I know, he came from a big Italian family, and I'm Italian, and I never had that. Except for my Sicilian grandparents were they loved me so much, because they saw that my mother abandoned me. And it was just sad, because